All right, Slayers in Skyblock. Slayers are very, very cool. They are bosses that you spawn in. You gotta fight them. You gotta get some insane loot from them. They take a while to do, but they are entertaining. And most of the time, you can get a tiny bit of profit if you're getting some epic drops. But recently, the profits on every Slayer have been plummeting. And there is one main reason why, and that is the Warden Helmet. Today, I want to talk about the Warden Helmet and its plummet from grace and how it has just absolutely dropped in price and seems like it may not return, and why I think that is sort of stupid. So if you enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate a like or a subscription. It's the best way you can support the channel. It's free and you can always undo it later. So let's talk about the Warden Helmet. So, baseline, where the Warden Helmet is from is Revenant Slayer level 8. If you didn't know that, now you do. It's from the Revenant Slayer. This Slayer was generally always considered to be the worst Slayer profit-wise, but the Warden Heart, when that got added in March of 2021, that kept it up. That kept the Slayer actually viable because this thing makes the best helmet in the game. It's the rarest drop in the game. You can barely get this thing. It takes forever to get, but it is very, very good. If we look at the Warden Helmet, you're going to look at the stats. Everyone has seen the Warden Helmet if you play Skyblock. If you don't play Skyblock, it halves your speed, but grants 20% base weapon damage for every 25 speed that you spend there. So it's good. It's definitely making you a slower boy, makes you move around a little bit chonky, but you're gonna deal a lot more damage. If I use something like a Warden Helmet versus not using it, you're gonna see my damage is 424k with a Warden Helmet, and then if I throw on something like a Golden Livid Head, which isn't a great example, but you're gonna see damage drops down a decent amount. So Warden Helmet is by far the best helmet for any of these sets that don't have set bonuses, but the price has been dropping. If we go and look at the price of the Warden Helmet, right now a Warden Heart itself is about 150 million coins. That's down from high 200s to 300 million coins. This thing was a very, very expensive item, and it is going down. And there is a big reason for that, and that is the balancing changes that recently came out. Before we talk about these balancing changes, I want to talk about the use cases of Warden Helmet, because there really isn't that many, and that is because Warden Helmet is not able to be starred. This is something that I assume we're going to see more and more in the future of Skyblock, where items are going to release and they're going to be great outside of dungeons like the Warden Helmet, but they're not going to be super useful inside of dungeons. And the problem with that is that dungeons is by far the most endgame thing in the game. Warden Helmet is going to be useful on every mob in the game. It's going to make you deal more damage, but it's overkill on most mobs. If you are an insanely good player, Warden Helmet's not going to be as useful to you purely because you are dealing insane damage on most mobs in the game, and you're able to one-tap them without the Warden Helmet. The only use cases that the Warden Helmet really has are something like Enderman Slayer, maybe Ghosts, and Diana. Like, I really can't think of much else. Enderman Slayer is the huge thing, though, that I want to talk about here, because Enderman Slayer is by far the most endgame combat in the game. 300 million health on a boss, an insane amount of damage to you. You need as much damage as you can get. But that sort of has changed because the Warden Helmet is not being used as much on Enderman Slayer. And this is where we have to talk about the balance changes, because the balance changes have caused a bit of a cascade that seems to be almost never ending because of how it really changes Enderman Slayer. What changed with Enderman Slayer is that the Final Destination armor set from Enderman Slayer itself got a huge buff. I'm sure you guys have seen so much about this. It gives way more damage against Enderman now. It gives you that ferocity still. It gives you a 1.5 intel multiplier. It gives you attack speed. It gives you strength. This is a good set. Now, when you're actually using this, you're able to beat Enderman tier 4s while wearing just Final Destination. That wasn't something that was really possible beforehand. You can see I'm dealing 2.7, 3 million, 3.3 million. It's a lot of damage with Final Destination, and that's not even looking at the ferocity. The thing is, Warden Helmet is still going to beat it out damage-wise. You're going to see 3.8, 3.9. I can hit into the 4s with this thing. 4 million damage. So Warden Helmet is still better. Why is it dropping then? The main thing that I would have to say is accessibility of Enderman Slayer. Now, let me explain how this sort of works. This totally could be wrong, but this is basically what I think is happening to the Warden Helmet. Because Final Destination is good, that means more people are able to just go into Enderman Slayer and aren't really buying Warden Helmets because they're not as necessary. It's overkill, once again, on the one thing it was actually useful on and wasn't overkill. So people aren't buying Warden Helmets as much, which means that they drop in price. But then people may think, hey, maybe I could go and buy a Warden Helmet because it is only 150 million coins for a heart now. So they'll go and buy that. And then they're able to do Enderman Slayer even more. So it's just dropping the price of everything. And you can see the effects of that now, because Enderman Slayer used to have a freaking amazing amount of profit from it. You would be able to sell your null spheres for like 1,200 coins at the beginning of February. Now, if you go and look at null spheres, they're 457 coins insta-sell and like 500 if you're selling with sell orders. That's an insane drop. Enderman Slayer is barely profit anymore. You guys remember the Judgment Core? You remember how much money that made? The thing's like 288 mil at this point. Sorry for spoiling before I typed it in. 288 mil for a Judgment Core. Slayer prices are a joke now, and a lot of that is due to the Warden Helmet dropping, because Revenant isn't going to be very profitable anymore because it takes so long to get that thing already, and the price is so down. And now Enderman isn't profit anymore because you don't need Warden Helmet for it. One thing that I do want to point out is that the people selling it are either geniuses or they are very, very stupid, because cards on the table, Warden Helmet will be the best helmet in the game if there is a full set that does not have a good full set bonus, or if they implement the partial set bonus change that they want to do, where you get part of the set bonus for having part of the set on. This is something that they talked about in the 1.0 threads, where basically they said that if you have 2 pieces or 3 pieces of a set, they want it to give a little bit of effect so you can have more build crafting there. And if something like that happens, or if the set bonus from something like the Nether update is not good, then Warden Helmet is the best damaging helmet in the game, so long as you're not in dungeons. So Warden Helmet should still be good. It shouldn't be getting panic sold, in my opinion. But they totally could just make a good set bonus and screw Warden Helmet out of ever being meta again. Because that's the thing. Warden Helmet needs a bad set bonus for it to actually be useful. Because if you do have a good full set bonus and you have to wear the full set for it, Warden Helmet's never getting used again. It will just not happen. I hate to see that, because I like having the idea of Warden Helmet where it's slowing you down. You're becoming a bit of a chonky boy, but you're getting that insane damage. I like that, but seeing it gone could totally happen. I don't think it will. I want to point that out. I think that Warden Helmet will forever be a meta helmet outside of dungeons. It's just the problem that right now we don't have anything for it to be used on, so people are panic selling. Honestly, I would recommend buying a Warden Helmet during this era, because buy low, sell high. I think that there will be a sell high moment coming in the future where the Nether update's going to come out and Warden Helmet's going to be needed again, and all those people that panic sold are going to be buying it again. But that's a gamble. I don't have any Warden Hearts. I have no horse in this race. Don't go buy anything from me if I sold it. But I'm just super interested to see what's going to happen, because if Warden Helmet is bad, then every Slayer is going to stay pretty mid when it comes to the amount of money from it, because all the Slayers are able to be done without it right now. So I just wanted to let you guys know about the situation going on with Slayers. Don't do them during Aatrox unless you're going for XP. I can't imagine you're going to make money, because everything is in the gutter and it kind of sucks. But that's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it kept you informed. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out.